ahead.
Go ahead.
Alright. Come here, girl.
Come here, gal.
Yes.
There we go. There we go.
Hey, girl, come here.
Hey, gal, come here. I think that's good. I think that's a good start. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Relationship Foods. I am so incredibly excited to have my mother-in-love here with me, Mrs. Dion Allen, and she is going to teach me how to make oxtail. And the first thing about this is it's oxtail and not oxtails. When I first met Chan, one of the first things that I had to learn was that you do not put an S on the oxtail. It is just oxtail. But I am so excited to learn. I have never made this dish before, but she's gonna walk us through every step. So we're gonna get started and jump right in. So what do we do first?
Okay, I've already cleaned the oxtail.
Okay.
So it's washed, and now we're gonna season it.
And so for cleaning, like when people buy at the store, what would they have to do to clean it?
Usually if it's a lot of fat,
Yeah.
I would cut the fat off.
Okay.
And then I wash it I use vinegar
Okay.
to wash my meat.
Okay.
Okay.
So once you've washed it, okay, now what do we do?
So once I wash it, then I start to season.
Okay.
And I use, this is my way of doing it.
Your way.
This
your
is
way.
my way of
Because everyone has a different way.
Everybody has a different way.
Okay. So this is
So I use Mrs. Dash.
Mrs. Dash. Okay.
It could be original or there's one with garlic and onion or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Mrs. Dash doesn't have salt in it.
Okay.
So I use Mrs. Dash.
Okay. And while you're doing that, I will cut the scallions, the onion, and the thyme.
Garlic.
And the garlic
The
as
garlic is very important for my oxtail.
Okay.
I use a lot because it helps to make the oxtail, it gets it tender quicker.
Oh, okay.
And oxtail usually take a long time, very long to cook. And I only slow cook it, so.
Okay, okay. And for the scallions, do you just like
just chop it.
Just like
Yes.
Like this?
Yes.
Okay.
And for most of my seeds, like the scallion, the onion and thyme, they actually go in like twice.
Okay.
So I cook it with some because I slow cook, and when it's almost done, I would do another season.
Okay, with more scallions.
With more scallion or sometimes or just onion and so forth.
Okay. And so when people are like seasoning oxtail, what is the biggest mistake that they make that makes it like not turn out well?
I guess it all depends on the type of seasoning they use.
Okay.
Everybody, as you said, will do things differently. And some people, so I don't know. I've had, and I guess it's how it's cooked.
Yes.
Some people, they do not, they probably will pressure it all out and then it's not good, or when they're cooking it, it's not tender enough.
Oh, okay, okay, that makes sense.
And it all depends to, I guess there's just a little difference in what is added. When I'm almost done, I usually add a little ketchup in it too.
Oh wow, okay. And so that's the
So this
adobo.
is the adobo Goya.
Okay.
I use this on most of my stuff.
Okay.
It has salt in it, so I don't use
You don't use a lot.
regular salt. So this is what I would use. So this would give it. And I can't tell you how much. Usually go to according to taste.
You just gotta feel it.
Yeah.
I feel like when you're cooking, if you cooked a long time, you just sense when it's ready to be done.
And oxtail take a long time, so you add water, so you have to have enough seasoning.
Yeah, so the water doesn't drown out the flavor.
Right.
No, that makes sense. And do you just dice the onion, or?
Yes, I just dice it.
Okay. And dice that. And so when did you start making oxtail? Is it just something that you've always done? Or?
Well, I've been doing this for years.
For years.
This is one of my favorite meat, but it's not something I do very often because it's very expensive.
Yes, oxtail is not cheap.
Many people,
Yes.
A lot of people, it's like for special occasions.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm gonna finish.
So I'm putting a little basil.
Okay. And if you use dried basil, like if someone wanted to use fresh basil, could they use that?
I guess they could, but I just use the dry one.
Okay.
And it's not this is not necessarily a must. If you have it. If I have it, I add it. Just likewise parsley.
Okay.
Because back home when I used to cook it, I never used to use these.
Okay.
They weren't available.
Okay. So you just use what you had.
Right, but now by cooking and I realized these add a little more flavor.
Yes. And so do you want all of this garlic?
Well, most of it.
Most of it. Okay.
Yes.
I'll do most of it. So
it's like this is like almost 1 head of garlic. You call it? That's what you call
1 head.
Right?
Yes. So do you remember the first time you started, or around what age you started cooking?
Oh, I started cooking at age 10.
10.
But not oxtail.
What were like the first things that you cooked?
The first thing I cooked was cabbage and codfish.
Okay. And what made you cook for the first time? Was it you had to or you wanted to?
But I wanted to. My brother was cooking, my eldest brother was cooking, and I wanted to help.
Okay.
And I can remember that we had boiled banana and dumpling and cabbage and saltfish, I think.
Oh wow, that sounds.
So this is Italian seasoning, so
okay.
I just like to use some Italian on almost everything I cook.
And do you like the garlic like finely chopped or rough chopped? Okay. So I'll finely chop it.
So this was garlic powder. I'm gonna use just a little because we don't have a lot of time, but this is optional too.
Okay. Because you have the
Since
regular
I have
garlic.
the regular garlic,
So it just adds. I feel like when I'm cooking, even if there's regular garlic and onions, I'm still adding garlic powder.
And onion powder.
I just have to have it. It just adds something to it.
And then one of the main thing again for the oxtail to give the proper color is browning.
Browning. And what is browning for people who may not know what that is?
Okay. I think browning is made from brown sugar, but I don't know exactly. If you just do the brown sugar, it's totally different. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But browning, this is used to give meat color, proper color that you want. It's also used to do cakes, like the Jamaican fruit cake.
Okay.
This is the same browning that is used.
Okay. So it has lots of purposes.
Yes.
And people can probably find that in like the grocery store.
In the grocery store.
Or a farmer's market.
Farmer's market,
yes.
So this one is actually the best brand, I think.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's the best, but in Jamaica, a lot of people in Jamaica, if it's not Grace,
they're not gonna.
They don't
want it.
take
They don't want it.
No.
Yeah.
But they have other brands.
Yeah. Okay. And how much do you use?
I just put enough. Once I mix it in, the meat should have a brownish color.
Okay. And if you put too much in, it would be really it would turn out too dark.
Well, yes, but
because does it add a flavor, or is it more so for color?
It's add the flavor.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I think
flavor.
we have. Do you want more garlic, or is this?
That's good.
That's good.
So you could
just add it.
Add it in for me.
Okay. I'll just add that in.
And then I use paprika.
Paprika. Okay. And so is oxtail, when you say it's for special occasions, so it's for holidays, is it like a holiday type dish?
And for oxtail for Chinese says any special occasion.
Any special occasion.
Yes.
Yes, she wants oxtail.
Oxtail.
Yes.
Any treat for Chinese says oxtail. So I put some paprika in.
Because it's interesting because before I tried this version of oxtail, the only version I had heard was in soul food there is oxtails, but that's what they call it, and it's more in a gravy type thing than it is it's a thick smothered almost. And so this is my first time this was my first time having it this way when you made it.
And I use a little cumin.
Okay. And do you want
not
the
a lot, because
not a
then
lot.
the cumin can be a little strong sometimes.
Okay. And the thyme, do you want me to just
a
peel
I don't
it?
need all of this.
You need all of this?
No.
Oh, no, just
a few.
just this one?
No, you could do some more. Just cut it.
Oh, just cut it. Okay.
Yeah.
Do these two.
I saved that for
Okay, we'll
so
save
you
that.
could just cut that small.
Okay. Okay. And then that
this is
cayenne pepper.
Cayenne pepper.
And so for oxtail, is it that if people don't want it
If you don't want
spicy,
then you
not
don't
put...
have to put any pepper. But for me,
yes,
being Jamaican,
yes, you have to have the spice.
And then once I have jerk
seasoning.
the jerk seasoning,
Now this is
the
my
jerk
contribution.
pepper,
This is my contribution
I
to
will
it.
add some of it.
Yes, this is my first time making jerk seasoning, so we are adding it to the oxtail. So hopefully it makes it turn out good.
I hope so. And I hope it's not too spicy.
Hopefully not.
Well, no, you have been climatized to spicy.
Yes, I have been. When I
right?
first started dating Chan, my spice tolerance was very low. But then after I started dating her, my spice tolerance got really high. And now I can take spicy foods more than she can, which I never thought would happen, but it has happened.
Okay, so I have gotten everything in.
So just add this.
The thyme in, yes.
Okay, just add that.
Okay, so usually I use my hands to rub this in.
Okay. We can use our hands if we want.
I'm
Hands are clean.
My hands are
Alright,
clean.
wash
I just
your hands,
wash
you
my
can just
hands
get in
already.
there.
So I'm gonna get
So,
that
just
in.
like that.
Take the ring off.
And so this is the type of dish where you really have to, because it has to cook for so long, you kind of have to plan it out to make sure you have enough time.
Yes, so we have to have a lot of time. So
Mm-hmm.
what I usually do though, as I told you before, I would normally just get the pot well hot. And it's usually a Dutch pot, or it doesn't even matter which pot it is.
It just has to be a big enough pot to fit everything.
To fit it. And once it's hot, I add the oxtail in it. Usually I would put, because it would be marinated, I would just pull these aside for a while. And just put the oxtail first, let it cook a little bit, and then I add the seasoning to it. But now I'm gonna just add some more seasoning later.
You just want to make sure like the seasoning is distributed and
Yes.
like it gets in there. And so this is something you can maybe you could season this and leave it in the fridge for the night or something. Or days. To let the flavor really
and you get
in.
the flavor right. So most times I would season mine to get it really like a day or two.
A day or two, okay.
Or maybe the morning then and cook it in the afternoon.
Okay. And so what are the things that you normally serve with oxtail traditionally?
Well, rice and peas or plain rice.
Plain rice.
Some people cook oxtail with broad beans.
Oh, broad beans. What are broad
So
beans?
they
For those who
actually-
don't know.
It's like what do they call it? In here,
it's like a butter bean?
it's a butter.
Butter
It could be
beans?
butter beans or just the other bean without being butter. Yeah. Yes, butter bean. So some people would add that. So if you're doing it with beans, then you could have white rice.
Okay. So it looks like it's getting
And
on.
when I'm doing the oxtail, once it's cooking, I cook, I take my time and add water each time as needed until it is tender enough.
Okay, so it's really a process that you
It's
have
a
to
process.
you have to watch it. You can't just sit it
Well,
on
it
the
can
stove.
stay I usually turn the stove very low.
Okay, so then you can walk away, or do you just have to check it every?
Yes, I can walk away because it's low. It makes its own water. I don't use oil in it. So it usually makes enough water, and then once that is dried out, I keep adding because it takes long to cook.
Okay, so you just have to watch it periodically.
To make sure it's not going to be burned.
Yes.
And then when I'm at the last stage of it now, I would I need a little flour just to make what we call spinners.
Okay.
Spinners, so that's just a little dumpling, very tiny.
Yeah, very tiny dumpling.
That's a part of my oxtail.
Okay, that's like exclusive to you. Not everyone would do that.
Well, most people would do it.
Okay,
most Jamaicans would do it.
Most Jamaicans would do it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you add some carrots and stuff.
Okay, which we're gonna do that part once everything is marinated. But it's looking
this looks like
it looks
it's
great.
Right.
Like it looks like it's gonna be seasoned.
So this is the color
that you're looking for.
Right. So and once it's not too dark. So I didn't put too much.
Yeah.
It could be if you don't have enough browning on it. Sometimes a little white, and maybe it's not very appealing.
Yeah. No. Yeah. You want to make sure it looks good.
Right. So it's gonna get some more color once it's
all done.
Yeah.
So this is all good.
This is all good.
Okay. So then we're gonna marinate this, and then we're gonna come back and we're going to put it in the pot and get it cooking.
Yes.
Okay. Sounds good. So now we're ready to start the cooking process for the oxtail. So now that the pot is heated, what do we do now?
Okay. So we're gonna add the oxtail in the pot.
Okay.
I don't put any oil in it because it generates a lot of oil
by itself. Okay.
So I just add it to the hot pot and then cover it.
Okay, and then it creates also juice as well.
Yes.
Okay.
But then I'll have to add water as I go along because they'll take a long time to cook.
Yes. How many hours would you say total would you want it, or can you do it in like however long you want it?
Well, yes, depending on how slow you're cooking it.
Okay.
How low you put the fire. So I usually put the fire really low, so it would take maybe 3-4 hours.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's a whole day thing.
For me, but it doesn't have to be like that. And tonight I guess we will go a little faster.
And so there are some people. So are there people who would sear it first?
Yes, there are people who would sear it first. Some people may even put it in the oven
before they cook
it up.
Okay.
But I like to have mine real, just slow cook in the pot from the beginning. I think it's juicier that way.
And so these are just like things that you learned as you kept making it over and over again.
I have choices.
Yes. So like besides oxtail, what is like your favorite thing to cook? Would you say?
Well, I like to cook oxtail, curry goat. Okay.
Yeah. And
I cook them similar.
Oh, the similar process.
Slow cook, but the curry goat you have curry on it.
Okay. And so those two things you would say are your favorite dishes.
Well, yes.
To cook. Now your favorite dishes.
Well, I like to cook chicken.
You like to cook chicken? Like in what way? Any way?
I bake. Anyway, I don't think I do curry chicken very well, but I enjoy it.
You enjoy it.
But like brown stew chicken or baked chicken.
Okay.
Well, I just love to cook.
You love to cook.
Yeah.
And you've always like since you were 10, like that was when you first, like you said,
I
when you first started, and then you just kept going.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like I started around the same time. It was like 10 or 11 that I started cooking.
Back home we used to cook a lot. I love to do roast beef also.
Roast beef.
Even though I don't do it a lot, as much, but I like to do, and I just do it slow also.
So you're into the meats with like the slow cooking.
Yes.
It seems like that's what you enjoy. Now in terms of foods that you like to eat, are those also the foods you like to eat the most, or are there other foods?
I love to eat oxtail, curry goat, yes.
Yes. Are there like your favorite like non-meat dishes?
My favorite non-meat dish?
Like if you had a vegetarian that you had to cook for, what would you cook for them?
Garbanzo or chickpeas.
Okay.
Or tofu. Well, I can cook tofu. But I cook a lot of stew peas. I would cook stew peas.
You cook stew peas.
Whether red peas or black beans or the white. I think it's like lima beans. That's what they call. I think it's the lima bean that they say called broad bean. Because you could have the big ones or the small ones.
Or the small ones.
Yeah. So I like to make the big ones with I cook that with curry. I love curry.
Curry,
so.
yeah.
And I cook also chickpeas.
Curry that as well?
Not chickpeas, split peas.
Split peas, okay.
Yes, the yellow one. I would curry that too. So for vegetarian dishes, I would do a lot of peas and beans.
And that provides like the protein, the
that's the
nutrients
protein, right?
that they need. And so do you just like take all of this
So
like juice and pour it in, or
I could
do
pour
you
it in. I think I'm gonna pour it in now.
Okay.
But usually I don't have to, but because all my garlic is in here,
yeah,
I'm gonna pour them in, so it will. It's gonna get.
You can already see it like starting to create the juice.
Right.
Yeah. And so you were talking about how earlier about you have to skim the fats because it creates a lot of fat.
Right. So yes. So as I go along, once I see that's closer to the end, once I see oil on a lot of oil on top, I usually skim it out.
You skim it out. Okay.
Because I'm trying to, even though it's meat, I'm trying to get it as healthy
as you possibly can. So take out as much oil as possible. That makes sense.
Cholesterol.
Yes. So now that we're here, you would just cover this.
Yes, I'm going to cover it.
And then just let it go.
And then and then intermittently you check and you turn it over.
So now that it's covered, you just let it go.
And it's cooking.
Yes. So we're gonna let it go, and then we're gonna come back and show you the finished product. So now that our oxtail is almost done, we're going to start making something that I do not know the name of, but you do, and it is
Spinners.
How do we spell that?
Spinners. S-P-I-N-N-A-Z according to Chad.
A-Z. Okay. And what are they?
It's just some little dumplings.
Dumplings. Okay.
The Jamaican style dumplings.
Okay. And so did a lot of people put this in oxtail, or is this like exclusive?
We put it in oxtail, we put it in stew peas.
Okay.
And like sometimes some people might put it in curry chicken or something.
Okay.
But it goes in stew peas a lot.
Okay. So how does
oxtail.
Oxtail. Okay.
Okay, so we're just gonna need. I'm gonna need a little flour.
Okay. So we have flour here.
The way we do the spinners, we have to roll it.
Oh, with hands.
Yeah,
so you have
with
to
our
take
hands,
off
just a little. Okay, but we're not gonna roll it yet.
We're not gonna roll it.
So
Okay.
we're just going to knead the flour.
Okay. So you add the water.
Okay.
And it doesn't need any like salt or anything.
No.
You just flour
Well, some people put salt in their flour. I don't.
Okay.
I stopped doing it.
You stopped.
Really,
Okay. To try and conserve and like cut down on salt.
On salt, because it's gonna be cooking in the meat already.
And it will absorb some of their juice. Okay. So you got the water.
So I'm just gonna add a little water.
And this is the same.
I just, as I said, I just test this.
Just a little.
Just a little.
Okay.
I use my hands. You could use a fork to mix it in first, and then you finish with your hands.
Are the best tools that you can use. And if you were making dumplings for something else, you would also. Is this a similar process?
This is a similar process to knead the flour.
Okay. And this is like if you were frying dumpling, you would do this.
So it's just a different type of flour.
Oh, it's different.
Probably use
because this is all-purpose.
Right. So if we're frying dumplings, I would probably use the self-rising flour.
Okay.
And usually I would add, if it's the regular all-purpose flour, then we add baking powder.
Okay.
And salt. Well, no salt.
No salt.
Well, yes. If it's just a regular flour, you would need a pinch of salt for fried dumplings, or if it tastes better.
Yeah. Okay.
So we would do bacon, and when I'm doing fried dumplings, I tip a little bit of sugar.
Sugar, oh.
Just a little bit.
Is that a secret ingredient?
Well, because that's not the norm.
That's not the norm. So it is a secret ingredient, a little sugar.
So I just, not that you taste it really.
But it adds something.
For me, I think.
And so how do you know when this is like done? When it's like kneaded well? Is it when all the flours?
When everything is together, comes together, and it's not too soft.
Okay.
if it's too soft. If you notice, I just added the water a little at a time.
To make sure you control how much you're adding. Okay. And so like dumpling, what do people normally eat dumpling with outside of oxtail?
Okay, dumpling. Well, this, I wouldn't call it dumplings for, as I said, we call it spinners. Because it's just a little, it's just some little tiny thing. Yeah. But the regular dumpling, that would be bigger. So we would eat that with codfish. Tin mackerel.
Tin mackerel. What is tin mackerel?
Tin mackerel in Jamaica, we call it dirty gal.
Dirty gal.
Dirty.
Dirty.
Dirty gal.
Dirty gal.
Yes.
Okay. That's tin mackerel.
Yes.
I've had that before. It's really good.
But Chinese didn't tell you it's dirty gal,
She did tell me it was dirty gal.
Okay,
yes,
good.
Yes, she let me know.
Oh, she knows a little.
Yes, she knows what she's
She knows a thing or two.
Yes, a thing or two.
Yes. Yes, that's another saying in Jamaica, you know, a thing or two.
A thing or two.
Yes. In Jamaica, there are a lot of phrases that people say, like, are ready, you're ready, you're ready. You ready,
you're ready,
no,
you're ready.
Are ready, you're ready, are ready.
You ready, are ready, you ready. No, what is it? Is it, break it down for me.
Are ready,
ready,
you're ready.
You're ready,
are ready.
I ready.
Are ready, you're ready, are ready.
You're ready?
No.
Are ready, you're ready, are ready.
So it's like a question.
Okay.
Asking you if you're ready. Already.
Okay, I think I got it.
Are you ready already?
Are you ready already?
Yes.
Is what you're actually saying.
Yes. But Jamaican. So you said, already, already? And me soon come back.
I'm like coming back quickly.
Me soon come back. You here?
Me soon come back.
Me soon come back. You here?
You here? Okay. So is that all?
So this is good now.
That's good. And so we just like
it's not too hard. It's not too soft, so it will be able to roll.
Okay. And so for now, since we're not ready for it, we're just like
We're just gonna let it.
We're just gonna let it sit.
Yes. Okay. Let it sit until.
Yes. So we're gonna let this rest, and we're gonna let the oxtail keep cooking.
Right. Yes.
So we're nearing the end of the oxtail cooking process, and so we're going to finish it up. So what do we do to finish the oxtail?
Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, after it's cooked, tender enough, then I'm gonna add some more seasoning just to make sure everything is good.
Yeah, make sure it tastes good.
Right.
You don't want any bland food here.
No bland food.
No bland food. No. Yes.
So I usually do. This is back home. We would say Irish potato.
Got this from ShopRite America. But Irish potato.
Irish
potato. We'll go with that. Okay. So
this is the potato cut, and then I add some carrots.
Okay, which we cut.
Which we already cut. This is bell pepper.
Bell pepper, but you call it sweet pepper.
In Jamaica, I would say sweet pepper. Any color, whether it's red, yellow, or green, it's sweet pepper.
Okay, that's good to know.
And this is some more onions.
That we finally
diced.
And then scallions.
Scallion. This here they call it green onion.
Green onion, yes.
But we call it scallion. And I'm gonna add a little more thyme.
Okay. Yes.
And this is my dumpling, my flour.
The flour.
That I'm gonna use to make the spinners.
Yes, which we did.
So we're gonna be doing this also.
Yes. Okay.
So there's no particular order in how we add these things. So we're just gonna pour them in.
Okay. So we're gonna take.
And if I need additional water, then I will add it. Okay.
I need some water. Do you want me to add some?
Yes.
How much should I add?
I'll tell you, because we're gonna need the potato to
so
be
you
cooked
want to make sure
and
they
stuff.
boil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we need to have one thing with this pot. I guess it's
Any more?
Go ahead.
More?
Okay.
Oh, all this
That's
stuff.
good.
Okay. And so one thing I've noticed, like in American dishes, that people cook with stock a lot, but it seems like for Jamaican dishes, you just add water, and the almost the juices from the meat creates kind of the stock itself.
Yes. For me personally, I never use stock.
Are there people who would use stock, or is it just common for just to add water?
Well, it's common to use water.
Okay. Which I guess is better because stock has a lot of sodium in it already, and this you can control how much sodium it
So
has.
we're gonna use stock
So set
back
this
home.
aside.
We're not used to that.
Okay, so we have the Irish
And
American potato.
add in the Irish potato.
Yes.
Or American potato.
Yes. You have the
The
carrots.
carrots.
Okay. Wow.
Then
It's
this
already.
pepper.
Okay, the sweet
The
pepper.
sweet pepper.
And you can
bell
use any
pepper.
color. You could use red or green or
Or
orange or whatever color you want to use. You can
if
use
you want to add more than one pepper,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Okay. Do you want the onion?
Yes.
Okay.
That. And the last thing I'm doing right now is I'm gonna add my spinners.
Okay. And this is a process. You have to like roll it.
Yes. Have you ever made dumplings?
I have not ever. I have never made it.
Okay, so
But I would like. I can help roll.
Yeah,
I can
you
try
can.
and help roll. You have to teach me how
So
to
you
do
do
it.
it very small for
Okay.
these. So you take a little piece
And then
and you
just-
roll it like that. And this
Okay.
is how it,
It's supposed to look.
yeah. And then you just
So-
drop it in the pot.
So like this, and then
And you roll it, and it's like that. And you drop it in
mine
the
is a
pot.
little bit. Mine's a little bit
If it's,
hefty.
well,
Maybe.
some people make them bigger,
Let
so.
me make it.
And
bigger.
most men usually make them bigger.
Really?
Yeah.
Is this good?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
good.
there we go. Getting the hang of it.
So that's your first,
That's my first time doing this.
doing your spinners.
Yes, I see why they call it that because you're like spinning. it.
Right, right.
Okay. And you said this would also go in stew peas, or,
Right.
Or
Stew peas, anything you're cooking and you feel like,
it should have that.
well, some people would throw it in curry chicken or,
Oh, really?
yes, chickpea, garbanzo.
And so when you have this, people still use rice though. Like, are there some
Yes,
people who just
because this is
Yeah.
just like a side thing. So most
Yeah.
people, when they eat back home, oxtail is so expensive too. So a lot of
Mhm.
people, you just get a small piece.
Mm-hmm.
You get a lot of gravy and
Mhm.
a few spinners, and you're
Mhm.
good because you're
Yeah.
having oxtail.
Exactly. Yeah.
A number of people would buy
I think
fried
I just-
chicken and then they say, "Can I have some oxtail gravy?"
Oh, with the fried chicken.
Yes.
I bet the gravy tastes good.
The
though.
gravy is usually very good.
I would do that. That sounds great. I think I made.
But then some people think they're still getting some of the oxtail for less money.
Because the gravy has bits
so
of
they'll
it.
tell
Yeah.
you, "Oh no, you have to pay for
You
the
have to
gravy."
pay for the gravy. Wow.
Yes.
I don't know if I made. Is this too long?
I
Or
think
is this,
maybe we need to. No, that's fine. It doesn't matter.
It can be any.
It can be anyway. I think we need too much, so
Mm-hmm. So we have
Janicia
too
will
much-
have a lot of dumplings.
Oh yes, that's her favorite part. This is okay. This is a fun process. I feel like this is the type of thing that if you had kids, they could do this part,
Yeah.
and it would be fun for them to do.
And we usually, like when I'm making soup, these are the
Mhm.
type of dumplings I make most time for soup.
Okay.
But I make it a little fatter, a little bigger.
Mhm. Okay.
So we would call those dumplings, but these we say
Yeah.
spinners.
Okay. Because in America, I don't know if we
They
have
make
chicken and
different
dumplings,
types of dumplings.
and it's like it can be like a biscuit almost,
Yeah.
and they call that dumpling. Like there are some that are more like this, but
Mhm.
it's also like the biscuit type. So this is like a different style.
So once we put all these things in, we just cover the pot
Mhm.
again, and I usually add a little ketchup to it to give
Okay.
it a nice
Yes.
tangy taste.
See, that's another thing I didn't know, that ketchup goes in a lot of
Yes.
Jamaican dishes.
Yes.
I had no idea. I thought ketchup was just like a condiment for fries, but it's
So for this, if you turn this up too much with the dumpling,
Mhm.
I have to wait a little bit until I cover the pot and let it, so that it doesn't
mm-hmm.
get all mushy
Mm-hmm.
with the spoon. So
Mhm.
I will not attempt to stir it as yet.
Okay. So at last we are at the end of the process. So we are going to taste it to see how it tastes, and then we're gonna plate it, and then that's a wrap. So
Okay. And I'm gonna show you how we taste
how we taste things in
in
Jamaica?
Jamaica.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you want to take the
Yes, could you just put
Yeah, I
this
can put
over
this-
there for
put
me?
this over here? Get it out the way.
Okay. Oh, it's all done. It's catching my bottom.
It looks really good.
Okay, so
So you're
let
gonna
me
taste it?
see how. Yeah.
I'm tasting it the Jamaican
I'm
way.
just tasting it, the gravy.
Mm-hmm.
See if it's good.
So you just put it on your palm like that.
Mmm. Wow.
It's good?
Yes, it's good.
Okay.
I can taste the spice.
Yes, yes. So are we ready? We're ready to plate. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you how to plate rice in a fancy way. Like when you go to a fancy restaurant, like they're never just gonna put the rice on the plate. They're gonna plate it in some fancy way. And so I'm gonna show you a trick of how to do that. And what you do is you take your rice, which we cooked off camera, of course. And you're gonna take a ramekin. You can take a small little bowl or dish like this, and you're just gonna pack the rice in there. You don't need any oil or anything because the rice should just come right out. But this is how you can really impress people when they come to dinner and make them think that they're at a really fancy restaurant even though they're just at your house. And so you pack it, and the key is you want to pack it down because if you don't pack it, it'll be too loose, and then when we try and dump it onto the plate, it'll just break apart. Now that could happen even now, so in advance I apologize if that does happen, but this is the concept. So you're gonna pack it down, and then you're gonna take your plate, and then you're just gonna dump it, and there you have it.
Wow.
That's how you make sure you have a good presentation of your rice.
Yes.
And then we're just gonna take
And
the
I used to do
oxtail.
this back home sometimes.
Mhm.
Once in a while we do this, but we would use a cup.
Oh, a cup.
Yes.
Yeah, a cup also works. And then we're just gonna take some of the oxtail. And plating is really important in cooking. People often think that it's just about cooking, but like how you plate it,
The carrot.
I'm gonna get some of the carrot, how you plate it really does matter. And it's something that can take a basic dish and turn it into a dish that people think they're, like I said, they're at a 5-star restaurant. I'm just gonna put some of the gravy over the top. And normally if I was in a restaurant, I would wipe all the dripping that's missing, but we don't have any napkins. And so when you're done, this is what the final looks like. We're gonna get a close up of that and see. I would get all of this up. Oh, we do have a knife. We're gonna have a napkin. And then you would just serve that. And so I'm gonna try it. And let me get the fork over here. And I'm gonna see how it tastes. Gonna get some of the oxtail, some of the rice.
I can't wait to try. Marcus.
Yes.
I'm hungry.
You're
see?
hungry? Oh,
Lord.
okay, well let me get you a knife too. I'm not gonna
I can't wait
You
to
can't.
try this.
Let me-
Wow. Oh Lord.
That's very good. You did
Wow.
good. You did your good cooking. This is great.
Wow.
I love it. Well, that's a wrap. We're basically
Wow,
done.
that's good.
I want to thank you so much for joining me on this episode. It has been such a pleasure. And I want to thank you all for tuning in and listening. Okay, you're just going to see she's the production crew, but she's getting in. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay, it doesn't matter. But I want to thank you guys for coming to this episode. And I hope that you guys can like it, share it, subscribe it, and tune back in next week for another video. And remember, it's #relationships goals coming at you. Thank you so much.
One love.